Hello, my friends, and welcome to episode 89 of the Nurse and Strengthen podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the biggest things I see get women off track. That doesn't sound right. One of the biggest things that make it so it's hard to stay on track with your fitness goals, and that is the weekends. So, if you think that the weekends might be ruining your progress, I have got 5 top secret hacks to help you stay on track throughout the weekend without feeling like you're missing out on your family dinners out or your date nights or whatever it may be. So if you ever feel like, you're eating clean, you're on point all week long, you're getting in your steps, you're getting in your workouts, you're sleeping enough, and then Friday afternoon comes and everything just unravels and you throw all caution to the wind, you do whatever you want all weekend long. Monday morning comes, you feel bloated, you feel guilty and shame and frustrated. And that's when you start feeling like, what the heck? I am never going to reach my goals. And that's when, if you missed my episode a couple weeks ago about falling off track, how to never have to start again, this falls right into that kind of line of thinking. So go listen to that episode next. Just add to the queue so you can listen to it right afterwards. But the weekend thing, the giving up on Monday, is one of the most common struggles that I hear from women, especially women in perimenopause, because your hormones do play into this for sure. And so today in the episode, we're going to be talking about why your weekends feel so hard, how they can be holding you back from progress. And I'm going to give you 5 realistic hacks to help you continue to enjoy your weekends without derailing your progress and your goals. Now, I'm going to tell you a little story. And this is way back into, I don't know, the early 2000s. Tell me, raise your hand, nod your head, whatever it is. If you remember Body for Life, the Body for Life program, there was the big hardback book. I feel like everyone in their 40s should know exactly what I'm talking about. In the Body for Life program, you have what was called, do we call it a cheat day or a free day? I don't remember. Basically, it was a day when you can eat whatever you want. And the idea was that what you do in one day isn't going to derail a whole week's worth of work. And in a way, I agree with that. It's true. But if you're doing a day like that too often, it really can set you back, especially when we're talking about the whole weekend, right? Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. Because back when I did Body for Life, guys, I would wake up, I would have all the most indulgent meals, the most indulgent breakfast, lunches, going out to dinner, getting dessert, snacking on all the things throughout the day that I felt like I couldn't have during the week because I was saving it up for my cheat day or my free day, right? And then I would finish that day and I would feel so sick. And I was like, in my head, I was like, oh, I'm ready to get back on track tomorrow. But no, that's just not the right way of thinking things. That's going to help you with your metabolism and your hormones and actually getting healthy habits that are going to help you reach your goals. So why are these weekends so tricky? Let's talk about some common things, some common reasons why people do fall off track on the weekend. The first one is the all or nothing thinking. And that's kind of what I was talking about just a minute ago. You are so quote unquote good all week long, almost to the point of detriment, right? You cut out your favorite foods. You don't eat a bite of sugar. You eat only protein and veggies and only 1000% clean foods. And it's too much. It's hard. By the time Friday comes, you just can't look at another piece of broccoli or chicken again without kind of gagging in your mouth a little bit, right? So this restrict and rebound cycle is going to make everything worse, guys. It's going to worsen your cravings. It's going to slow your metabolism over time, and it's going to affect your hormones as well. So the all or nothing thinking, you got to find balance throughout the week, but we're going to get into our solutions here in just a minute. Another reason why weekends are hard is because a lot of times we don't have a lot of structure. And when we don't have structure, it's hard to have a strategy. So in our weekdays, we have more of our routine, right? We have our meals set. We have our workout time. We sleep pretty consistently. We've got our work schedule. We have that structured routine, right? On the weekends, all bets are off oftentimes, right? We don't have a rhythm. We skip meals. We have more mindless snacking. We're just home. We're a little bit bored oftentimes. We just don't have that same routine we have during the week, which is going to make it harder to stay on track with our goals, right? Another thing that people will commonly struggle with is a reward mentality. You start telling yourself, I deserve this chocolate cake, this glass of wine, this treat, this takeout. It's been a long week, and framing this food as reward can often lead you to spiral and make you feel even worse and cause you to have to seek out more of that reward. So we need to try and find our rewards in other ways, right? When we've had a hard time, reward yourself in a different way. Okay. Social pressures and emotional triggers, those are often very common on the weekends too. So you've got things going on the weekends. Maybe it's parties, maybe it's get-togethers, things that are very food focused and revolve around food. Going out to eat, bringing food to sporting events, or maybe it's just that you want a break from constantly thinking about trying to eat healthy and on track. And so oftentimes that super, super focus on staying on track can lead you to being more off track on the weekends, right? So you're probably thinking like, okay, so what do I do? Okay, so I've got 5 hacks for you here to help you stay on track through the weekends without feeling like you're missing out on life. Because that's what we don't want, right? We don't want you to feel just as restricted during the weekend as you do during the week. That's no fun, right? So hack number 1, don't skip your breakfast, okay? Even on the weekends. So what happens when you wake up and you don't eat relatively quickly? You don't have to eat like immediately, but if you don't eat breakfast, you're setting yourself up for blood sugar dips later on in the day, more cravings, lower energy, and just more hunger later in the day, right? And so the hungrier you let yourself get, the harder it's going to be to make healthy choices. Most of us have experienced that, right? Maybe you're running errands, or you're gone from your house longer than you think, and you end up getting so starving that you just have a hard time making the right choices, right? Or people say like never go grocery shopping hungry, right? It's kind of the same kind of thing. The hungrier you are, the harder it is to make good choices, okay? Especially in perimenopause, making sure you eat breakfast within a couple hours of waking up. Like I said, it doesn't have to be immediately. It's going to help support your cortisol levels, your insulin levels. So your tip here, your hack, is start your day with protein, fiber, and fat. Okay, so some ideas might be eggs and avocado, maybe some veggies, a veggie scramble, maybe some oatmeal with some protein in it, protein oats, maybe with some nut butter on top, maybe a smoothie with some protein powder, some fruit, some chia seeds, maybe some nut butter. Things like that are going to be a very balanced whole food meal that's going to help you make better choices throughout your day. Okay. Hack number 2 is anchor your day with protein. I use the word anchor on purpose because every meal should be protein heavy. Protein is the most satiating macronutrient there is. It helps you curb cravings. It helps stabilize your blood sugar levels. And a lot of times the foods that we just naturally gravitate to on the weekend happen to be just lower in protein, which is going to lead you to overeating later on in the day. Things like pizza, snacks, going out for brunch, things that are more carb heavy are not going to have a lot of protein in them unless you are intentional. One tip that I love is to aim for 30 grams of protein in your first 2 meals of the day. Okay. So breakfast and then lunch or morning snack or whatever that looks like for you. Because the rest of the day, you might have more fun foods. You might go out to eat at a place where your meal is not super protein heavy. At least you got 60 grams of protein in the first chunk of your day, the first half of your day. It gives you a little more wiggle room for later in the day. Okay. Hack number 3, plan for flexibility and not perfection. So remember how I mentioned, in the weekends, oftentimes we don't have a set routine, right? If you plan for that flexibility and plan around the fact that you don't have a routine, it almost like gives you some structure and a routine, right? So you don't need to track everything. Maybe on the weekend, you like more of that flexibility. Maybe instead of tracking all 3 macronutrients, you track just your calories and protein. Maybe instead of tracking anything at all, you just focus on protein heavy foods. Whatever it is, just be intentional with it. Decide in advance, where do I want to enjoy myself this weekend? And where do I want to stay on track? And it's that system of checks and balances, right? Maybe you take a free meal, you're going out to eat, you take an untracked meal, so you don't have to worry about what's on the menu or planning too much in advance, but the rest of your meals that day are going to be on track and are going to be ones that help you reach your goals, right? Maybe you want dessert, so plan in advance. Are you going to share it with somebody? Are you going to eat half of it? Are you going to eat the whole thing and maybe make adjustments to have some lower calorie choices earlier in the day? It's about planning for that flexibility and not feeling like you have to be on track 100% all the time, because that's just going to set you up for feeling like a failure, right? And going off track. Hack number 4 is include movement, but make it fun. So one thing I love to do with my workouts on the weekends is to kind of switch it up and do something I really, really enjoy. For me, that's rollerblading. I love going outside and rollerblading on Saturday afternoons. Maybe if I'm going to the gym, I might do like more of a fun workout that includes things that I don't typically do in my normal workouts, just to kind of mix it up and make it feel different, right? You can make your weekends feel different than your weekdays, but have them still be moving you closer to reaching your goals. Okay. So weekends don't have to be rest days, right? Do something fun. So think about the movement that's going to support your stress levels, like lowering your stress levels, improving digestion, like long walks and things that are going to bring you joy. Like I said, for me, that's rollerblading. Just staying moving, listen to podcasts while you do yard work, like things that are going to make that activity more fun. And the last hack number 5, is ditch the starting over on Monday mindset. Again, this is a plug for, oh gosh, I can't remember. I think it was 2 weeks ago, the episode about how to never start over again. Every time you start over, you guys, or tell yourself you're, quote, starting over, you are teaching your brain that imperfection means failure, okay? Instead, you don't want to use those words. You don't want to use starting over on Monday. I'm going to start over next week, next month. You don't want to use the words failure or I messed up. You want to just plan for the flexibility and let your weekends be part of your journey, not a break from your journey, okay? So here's a little action tip here. Every Sunday night, I want you to reflect on your weekend. What went well? What did you do a good job at? What felt off for you? And what can you do differently next weekend? Okay. So looking at the weekend as kind of a different chunk of time that can still move you closer to your goals, but just in a different way, can make this whole thing seem more fun and just kind of add a little bit of variety to your journey, right? All it takes is these few small shifts. You can still enjoy your social life. You can still rest. You can still move closer to your goals while having that flexibility and variety on the weekends. So hopefully that was helpful for you guys. Just a quick little episode today about the Friday to Sunday and how to stay on track without feeling like you're missing out on everything in your life. Let me know what you guys thought of this episode. Hopefully it gave you some fun little actionable tips, and I will see you guys next week.